Howdy y'all, Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee, and today on the Hermitcraft server, we're going to be making a few more adjustments to the entrance to our gallery. Got some great feedback from you, the commenters, yet again, and so I am excited to begin. So, here we go, we are just jumping straight in. The thing about creating art, oh, look at this, is this little tree new? See, I love how everything on the server, stuff just pops up out of nowhere. I think that is one of the most fabulous things about playing with a group of creative and clever individuals. Now, what I'm going to do here first is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to unload these two buckets, because what I really think I need to do is adjust the water pillar spacing. I like the water pillar spacing over there, but I think that this water pillar spacing needs a little bit of tweaking. Now, wow, that's a really efficient way to pick up a bunch of extra water. How did that work? Oh, wow, okay, whatever. That was effective. So anyway, I have picked up all the water here. Now, this unfortunately was causing issues, not all the water, I guess, because horses can't run through water. And while the other pillars had kind of a different setup where, whoa, don't want to do that. The other pillars have kind of a different setup where the water's captured at the bottom by these little water septicles, and that was not the case on these particular pillars. So I think that we're going to go ahead and revise those out. Also, these red bands, I don't, like, I know I technically recorded what I was thinking about when I put them in, but in retrospect, I think I was just really tired, because they don't actually match with any of the aesthetics of the rest of the piece. Whoops, getting a little bit pick happy here. Sometimes it's hard to only break the blocks that you're intending to break. But you know what, sometimes it's only, it's difficult to only make the things you're intended to make, too. You ever tried to, like, make a cake and then you accidentally made, like, 5 cakes disappear because you ate them? Or whatever, I don't know. I'm not an expert in bakering. I don't know, whatever. Let's see. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull out these red blocks, because they don't really fit with the aesthetics of the rest of the entrance here. Let's see, tear those out. Also, let's see, I like that we are bringing in some direct sunlight here, and that actually reminds me, solar energy is just so important these days, but blue is a pretty difficult filter if you're trying to harvest solar energy. A blue glass over your solar cell will actually kind of twist out a lot of the light. You ever seen, like, a beam of photons that's been twisted? Ghostbusters has these. They've got those photon packs. Haha, I'm just kidding. I know they're proton packs. But I'm a terrible person who does not mind ruining your childhood by mispronouncing the names of equipment from the movie Ghostbusters. Like the telephones that they have on their discs in their fire hose. Yeah, see? That was kind of funny. Man, I should really write jokes in advance. This is just me smashing stuff like your childhood and saving a little bit of solar energy for this beautiful little place here. We don't want to filter out all the blue light. That would be undesirable. Okay, so we'll just let these golems have the excess glass, because I don't know that I could escape that terrible cell that is also capturing them. Let's see. Hey, enjoy your prison. Now, while we are actually working on this, in recognition of the fact that that is indeed their prison, normally with prisons, you don't want to have walls that are easily, like, scrambled over. So let's go ahead and remove all the parts of this that are easy to scramble out and over, so that those guys can kind of stay in place there. We do not want to set them free. They are not, I don't know. What are things we like to set free? We like to set free our wild, independent, youthful spirits. We want to work together in a joyful revolution or something. That sounds like vaguely World War II propaganda-ish. So don't actually do that. I know fascism is on the rise in America, and I'm gonna come out publicly and say not a big fan of fascism. So tamp that down a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and pick up a little bit of this mess we made in our attempts to stop people from easily entering or exiting that prison. Let's see. Man, there's actually a lot of good money to be made. When I say good money, I mean, like, it's arguably, questionably morally justifiable money, but there's a lot of it to be made in private prison construction. So if anybody here has a lot of money that they made in private prison construction, feel free to assuage your guilt by subscribing to my Patreon, because you're still probably going to feel bad about certain elements of what you did in the long term. But you know what? I mean, I guess if we have to have a military, industrial, prison, congressional complex, or whatever it is Eisenhower's always on about, you know, maybe some of it could support the arts. I don't know. See, that's exactly the sort of attitude. I'm saying this kind of tongue-in-cheek, but some people might think that I'm really serious, like, it's okay to do bad things as long as you support the arts with it. It's actually kind of not, and I don't really actually want that kind of support. But sorry for the surprise time skip there and the break in the monologue, but I ran into some sort of graphical glitch where I was getting stuck in invisible blocks from the stairwell, had to log out, log back in, broke those blocks. It's not as dramatic if you don't get to see everything on camera, but that's why I left, a hole in the ground to fall into. Dang it, False. Okay, when people ask, like, why did you think that False built this thing? It's because False is always putting stuff right in front of my gallery or right next to my gallery. There's a brick wall she installed right next to my shipping office, and the joke is that I always, yeah, see, there's a brick wall, and there's my window, okay? And so the joke is that I always kind of pretend that I don't notice or that it doesn't bother me, which a lot of times it doesn't, because, like, the brick wall thing is actually pretty funny. But I genuinely thought that she was just stepping up her game by building a giant iron golem head in front of my thing, right next to the hole in the ground that anyone can easily fall into in front of my thing. It's right up her alley. So, or right in my pathway. But let's see. It seems to me like, oh yeah, what was that? I didn't want to break all the stairs off camera, so I saved the last one for you. So if you want to feel like you're really engaged, you can put your mouse cursor somewhere that it's not going to actually click anything, and then on 3, we're going to hold down the click button and break this. 1, 2, 3. You did it! We did it. Yay! Okay, so where was I? Solar power. So yeah, we got rid of the blue glass earlier because of the solar energy thing. You know what this is? This is my fuel store. It was established in episode 11, and I sell fossil fuels and alternative fuels. And, you know, in theory, it's a good idea, but unfortunately, in light of this massive construction directly where I was going to have my courtyard this episode, or not this episode, in episode 55, I logged in. I was like, okay, I'm going to work on my courtyard. I'm going to connect it to the path, and this is here. So now I'm thinking I'm going to just kind of reorient my courtyard goals a little bit. I need to clearly claim all the way to the street, though. If I don't claim to the street, then somebody's going to give me some trouble, and I'm going to end up with, like, a massive snow golem head in my front yard here. So we're just going to kind of grab a bunch of these, and nobody's going to... So, like, this is not actually what it's going to look like. But I figure if I put a whole bunch of really brightly colored sandstone blocks here, like, nobody's going to think, like, oh, Joe, you clearly had no plans for that area. So we're just going to kind of hem this in, like so. And in light of so this is going to be the kind of entranceway. Now you'll notice that this fossil fuel store here is a little bit out of date. We got solar panels in Minecraft now, so what we want to do is just wipe out this entire structure. Just, like, knock it down. Luckily, I have a ladder I put in. Okay, well, when I was building it, I had a ladder back here. You know what? If, you know, when they say when God tears down a ladder, build yourself some stairs. So that's what I'm going to do. Just going to mow through this, catch myself on fire a few times. You know, we're just going to quickly destroy that which we have wrought by our own hands. I did actually consider a few alternative ideas. I considered building a identically scaled but rotated 45 degrees iron golem, like 200 blocks that way. Maybe not 200, but just like taking exactly what Mumbo had built here and just moving it right here at a diagonal, just so it was a little bit like 16 blocks out of my way. But that seemed like too much work. I also considered putting up another one of these bidden boxes. So each of the pieces of art in the gallery here has a box where people can bid on stuff. And so I was thinking maybe I'd put up a little thing that's like, bid on item number 5, Mumbo Jumbo's giant iron golem head. And then whoever bid on it, I would move it wherever they asked. Which maybe that would just lead to Mumbo Jumbo bidding on his own iron golem head and asking it to be delivered to exactly where it is right now. But in that case, I would have at least, you know, won an auction. Well, I guess you don't win an auction if you're the one holding the auction. He would have won the auction. And that's what this is all about, is I want Mumbo to feel like a winner here, you know? And if he has to pay me for that privilege, and outbid other people in that process, then I think that that's a net gain for everyone involved. That's a gain for me. That's more interactiveness on the server for everybody else bidding against him, driving up the price. But you know what? I decided no. You know, they say all art is theft, but I don't need to steal his thing that he's just kind of given to me by building it where I was planning to build. I don't know. I'm just I'm gonna take the higher ground and not have that auctioned off. So let's see. We're gonna go ahead and actually extend these sandstone slabs around here as well. We're just gonna kind of extend this out. I'm not gonna have time to build the actual courtyard this episode because I was so busy ensuring that that prison would contain the iron golem threat there. Okay. See, I feel like this is a pretty clear indicator that this is a thing. And I think that I'm even going to extend it. I'm going to extend a path that I will later actually fix better down to here. Whoops. And have this be good. But you know what? I've been told that the fact that I didn't have this clearly marked as intending to be connected to the path here in the first place is how I got into this mess. So I'm not going to make that same mistake twice. We're going to have our one grander entrance over here maybe, and a small like little path that leads over from here as well, because it was really intended to be accessed from this side when I was originally envisioning it. Sorry, I gotta eat. So, like, of course, now the entire structure is kind of occluded by that thing. But at least from here, now that I've taken out that one building, it's a little bit better. So this, I think, might be the ideal angle of approach. Let's go ahead and dump a bunch of my stuff here. Oh, more windows. Probably don't want to leave just, like, glass lying around. You know, like, as a parent, I try to baby-proof things, because, you know, not that anyone on this server is a baby. See, the great thing about a statement like that is I actually don't think anyone on the server is a baby, but I'm sure you guys are going to be like, oh, he thinks so-and-so is a baby. And it's like, well, that's not even the person I would have expected somebody to think was a baby. And you're like, well, I don't know, what about all the pacifiers and nappies or diapers? And then it just spirals wildly out of control. These are actually problems I don't want to have, so please don't call anyone babies. Where was I? I was frantically tearing up the ground. I was defounding. Like, if the... What's the verb form of to create a foundation? Let's see. I think a lot of foundations actually begin with an endowment, but that's like a financial foundation. Usually you pour a foundation. I guess that would be like a concrete foundation, which this is something like that. Where is my bow? I'm really going to want that in about now. Okay, so where were we? Oh, good, more zombos. Okay, so we're just going to... we're going to make this foundation unfounded. We're going to unfound this. Just kind of tear up... I don't even know... Is this polished andesite? Apparently, I don't know the difference between andesite, diorite, and granite also, which is really bad. I should know the difference, but, like, you know, it doesn't come up a lot in my day-to-day life, so apologies for that. I'm not one of those people with the fancy granite countertops, or cabinet tops. If you have granite cabinet tops, like, way up toward the ceiling, that just seems kind of silly, but I guess you could do it if you're really rich. Okay, so we're going to put signs up here that say... Future Art Gallery Entrance. Done! Light it up. Do we have any lights? We do! Come on. Boom. Okay, so this is manageable. So if somebody comes out of Asuma's little box thing here, then as long as I don't build too tall with this art gallery entrance, then I feel like you can still see the superstructure here. We can still have a nice, pleasant courtyard here. you know, and Mumbo can still have his shop, little path this way. I feel like this is a fairly reasonable solution. And if you disagree that this solution is reasonable, then I guess you're not part of the solution. You're part of the problem. And tell me about it in the comments. Honestly, I like all the comments I get. You guys are hilarious. My favorite one on episode 55 was somebody was like, boo. And I was like, oh no, it's a ghost. And he's just like, no, you're worse than Mumbo. And I'm like, I don't care that I'm worse than Mumbo. It's funny that you don't think it's funny that you're a ghost. Well, I guess ghosts take themselves seriously a lot, though. That's like, maybe that's this guy's unfinished business, is that he can't take a joke. I don't know. I really expected there'd be like some squids or something down here. Dang it. I was like, I need some ink for my bid and stuff so I can end the episode hunting for squids. But apparently I'm hunting for nothing. And I probably should have brought like a night vision potion because I'm underwater and that makes terrible footage. So are all the squids like hiding in this little inlet here? Oh, there's the gallery from the backside. It's pretty cool looking. I'm actually pretty happy with how it all turned out. Other than that crazy iron skull thing there. But on the whole, I think the gallery turned out well. Let's come check it out from another angle here. And we'll get a proper entrance shortly that looks awesome and that the gallery itself deserves. So, once again, bidding on all pieces is open until the 7th of June to all hermits on this server. So if your favorite hermit might enjoy one of the pieces of artwork inside, the Westminster Palace, the Sea Cow Bay sign, the Helix glass crazy piece, or the sculpture of the giant head, definitely have them come down and bid, because it'll be pretty exciting. Well, until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring.